Hey YouTubers, Grimmy here, and this is the video review for Transformers Encore G1 Fortress Maximus. The reissue, pretty much. And it's one I've been waiting for a long time for. And it's a big one too, really tall. I mean, it's so huge, as you can see. I have to push the camera back very far to actually get the box in view. But since we're on the box, it's a pretty large one. You got the classic G1 style box, in Japanese of course. This is pretty accurate to what the original box was, except for the Encore logo. And this one, since it's Japanese, will also have the Headmaster's logo to it. As you can see, it's got a really nice bit of box art for Fort Max, as well as some images of the city and battle station mode. On the side, which is probably going to be very hard to see, you got an image of robot mode, along as other images of the city and base modes, as well as an image of Cerebral's. And then on the back, we have this really nice box art of the Headmasters and all that, doing battle, classic G1 style. Oops, it's a very nice one. You got all the transformation steps for Fort Max. It's pretty cool. But anyway, it's a nice box, and let's not wait any longer. So we should get this opened up and see how it looks. Okay, before we actually continue the review, let's see what we got in the box. As you can see, we got the main body. Really big main body. You got the head, parts for the sword, the Headmaster and the guns, also cog and grommet, the most of the sword right here, the two ramps for the sides, and the sticker sheet and instructions. This is a lot of stickers. It's going to take me a while to get this on, so I'm going to get that taken care of and then we'll continue. Okay, now we got Fortress Maximus in its city mode. And it's quite an impressive piece. I had to get pretty far back to actually take this shot, so I might be moving up to get into the features. Anyway, as you can see, it's massive. Doesn't even fit into my stage all the way. It's just so big. But you got a clear view of the front of the city. And here we got Spike, the little guy. And then there's Gasket, the gun truck or car or whatever it is. And you got a nice clear view of this city itself, which is big. Then we got Cerebral, who's actually transformed into a part of the city, and Grommet, that little tank on the road. But this mode feature has a nice batch of features on its own, and I guess we'll start with what's on the front. So let's kick it off with what Gasket has here. As you can see, he's on a red panel, which has a slider on it, and you just push the slider up and it'll launch the car, any kind of car that's on it, whether it's gasket here, or either a G1 minibot or a Legends class vehicle, whichever you'd like. We'll just put Goldbug here, or Gold Bumblebee, you tell me. And yeah, it launches them. That time it was a little too hard, so let's try this again, a little softer. As you can see, yeah, it'll actually launch them out. Which is pretty nice. Has the same feature on this side, where Grommet is. And it works just as well. Now, before we go on, Gasket and Grommet here are two vehicles that combine into one of the secondary robots, which would be, well, we'll just do it right here. Put these here. And here we have Cog, who's pretty much as posable as a brick, but that's the way G1 goes. He has his own gun, and since he has no leg articulation, he can stand pretty well. But yeah, he looks pretty good, and it is a nice little add-on to the set. Okay. Next up, we'll take a quick look at Spike. You can see is the Headmaster, and you know, he's pretty simple. As up and down movement on the arms, forward, back, like you can get his legs into a sitting position. The knees are pretty much locked together, so you can't move the hips individually. It's unfortunate but true. But yeah, he's the Headmaster for Cerebral, who is right here. As you can see, we got Cerebral here, who just transforms like so. Pull out the fists. And yeah, as you can see, he doesn't have a head yet, but he does have this opening feature on his chest. You'll see what that's for in a sec. Now, his head is right here in Spike, or Spike is the head. All you do is flip his legs around, try to get it even. Then you flip this mask forward. There you have a robot head. Just plug it in, and as you can see, the stat bars on his chest go up, and you can see he's 10 all around for all his stats: speed, strength, and intelligence. Yep, this is Cerebral. And he is also compatible with other Headmasters, if you have any. Closest thing I got is the Head Robot's hard head, which I'll just transform real quick. Equip the adapter. But you can also put this one in. And I can get that. Sorry, this one's a little trickier to work with. But once you get it in, you can see that Hothead has different stats than what Spike had. see, he has strength of 10, speed and intelligence of 5. So, yeah, it's nice to know that this will actually give different results for different figures. Now, Cerebros has some accessories of its own. He has a sword and a little gun. And we'll get more into what Cerebros is for in a moment. But we still have some features on the city I'd like to go over. Now, on this side here, you got a little garage and repair bay where you can fit a few Scout class or Legends, Cyberverse figures in vehicle mode or robot mode. Inside here, we got a little elevator that goes up to this little launching area. Now the elevator is actually controlled by a small, sorry it's hard to get it into picture, but a small crank at the back of the city. So all you do is load your little mini bots in to the side here. If I can get this in shot. And yeah, I know my big hand's in the way. There. Yeah, you can see it just goes right in. And then you just turn the crank. Goes up the elevator. And then you just push the button and out he comes. Works pretty well. Additionally, you got a spinning radar dish here. Not a big feature, but still nice. You got the helipad, which this part here is actually die cast. Nice little bonus. And on this side you got a little jail cell. So if you got any Decepticons, pop them in, lock them up. Which is pretty cool. Now I think I've gone over all the features, but there is one little thing I want to do. That is just a quick size comparison. Excuse me. Because here is big Fortress Maximus alongside Mini Maximus. And yeah, I know, Mini Maximus is sitting on a couple cords, but you can let that slide right now. As you can see, Fortress Maximus is gigantic compared to the Kabaya Fort Max model kit, which is sensible. Fortress Maximus is one of the largest Transformers available, or, well, ever made. I mean, was the largest until the new Metroplex was announced. As you can see, it's a pretty large city mode. Before we move on, just do another quick size comparison using Generations Cliff Jumper. As you can see, the city is a lot bigger than a deluxe class figure, so yeah, pretty huge stuff. Anyway, he has 2 modes to get through, so let's go into base mode, and I'll check with you in a sec. Okay, now we got Fort Max in his battle station mode, which is very hard to get in frame all the way. It's long. This is pretty much the figure laying on its back. So it's a pretty long one, about 2 foot long, which is an impressive size. As you can see, it's got quite a few guns, launch bays, a actual cockpit where you can put your Spike Witwicky or any Headmaster figure. And on the back is pretty much the front of the city mode. Yeah, I know it's a little weird angle, but it's kind of hard to work with this thing. It's huge. But yeah, not much else to really say about this mode. It's pretty much an add-on. Looks cool. I mean, this is all intensive purposes the Transformers version of the flag. It's just a shame that the Transformer figures don't work as well with this as the G.I. Joes work with the flag. But in any case, it still looks pretty cool, even if it is impossible to get into this frame. But enough of this, let's just get it to robot mode. Okay, now we got Fortress Maximus in robot mode, at least most of the way. Yeah, I know, haven't transformed his head yet. And if you're wondering where his head is, it's sitting right there on his shoulders. Cerebral does indeed transform into Fort Max's head. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you already knew that. But, yeah. This is actually a pretty important step because there's something you should know about Cerebros once you get him out of the box of the Encore set. His legs, his knees are jointed very tightly. There's a point where you should check them out before you decal them. And if they're really tight, try loosening the screws. It's important to do this before putting the decals on because the knee decals cover the screw holes. So you can't really do it afterwards without ruining those stickers. But in any case, Cerebros just transforms. You don't even have to take Spike off if you don't want to. You don't have to keep it on either. It's up to you. But you just put in the hands, close them up, move the legs in, spread them, bend the knees. This is where it gets really tight, so be careful. And then they just tab in at the bottom. And then flip the mask up and take a look at that face. Those eyes are actually painted in too. Another benefit of Encore. But now that we got the head transformed, let's just slot it in. There we go. Goes in with a nice click. And now we got Fort Max transformed in all his glory. And yeah, he is a big sucker. Near 2 feet tall. And he is gigantic looking. Really massive. We'll bring Cliff Jumper back just to get an idea. As you can see, huge in size. And we'll get some other guys in for more size comparisons. So just give me a sec. And now you can see that Fort Max is even bigger than Unicron and Omega Supreme. And that is pretty big. I mean, if that wasn't enough proof of how big he is, get Unicron out of the way. Let's put in the Mattel Classics 23-inch Voltron. As you can see, Voltron's only barely taller than Fort Max. And this is a 23-inch figure, so we're talking about maybe 20, almost 23 itself. Probably like 22 and 9/10. So that's pretty big. It's definitely one of the biggest figures I got in my collection now. It'll be interesting to see how he looks standing next to the Generations Metroplex that's coming out later in the year. But just for fun, let's put him with Mini Maximus. As you can see, Mini Maximus barely isn't even as tall as Fort Max's knee. But we'll get Voltron out of the way real quick because Fort Max has one more accessory, and that is called the God Sword. Not sure I'm fond of the name, but hey, it's a big sword. Fits right in Max's hand and looks pretty awesome. And that is a nice big sword. Nice range. You can have it rotate on the hilt. So if you prefer to have it like that, you can. But I prefer to have it like this, where he's ready to cut someone down. But yeah, this guy is massive. Now, nice thing about him is that you can store just about all the accessories, except for one of the guns or the sword, while he's in Fort Max mode. Like, you can store the extra accessories right in there. It's a little compartment right here. You can stuff something right in there, or even use the jail cell to store some accessories. So you don't have to worry about any accessories really getting lost with this guy, because you can keep them with them easy enough. And the only one that you can't really keep with it is so big that you're probably not going to lose it. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Should be review 100, or video 100, I'm sorry. Thought I'd do a big one. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed. Take care, have fun, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.